Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the lab. I am, of course, your host, John Burkhead, and we got my boy Ace back on with us today. How you been, Ace? How's it going?
Thanks for having me back. Thank you. Thank you. I am doing fine. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting time since your last time on the in the lab, Ace. We talked
hmm
about Can't Buy Me Love the first time around, and this time around, I wanted to talk about the game. If you haven't seen it, have you seen the movie The Game? And no, I'm not talking about Triple H from wrestling.
Mm. It was a beautiful thing that you brought that up because I was going to do a Triple H entrance theme, but since you beat me to that punchline, I have seen the game. I love the game. I think he's an excellent rapper. Um, I love the documentary. His second and third album was really good, but I think the documentary was my favorite album. I got you with the game, John. This is
Not
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 this is not a game.
Not that game, Ace.
Oh,
Not the rapper.
oh.
The movie, The Game. Not the show, The Game. With
Well, then
I think
I
I think
have
that's like
notes for the wrong thing. Then you sure you don't want to talk about the rapper? It's okay. Hold on. No, no. Okay.
we'll we'll be right back. No, I'm kidding. No, The Game with Michael Douglas.
Mikael Douglas, the game. It came out in what 1997, I think.
Oh
I
man,
know
yeah.
I know a lot of people probably has not seen this movie. I do recommend please watch this movie. It is definitely a surprise as far as it's an actually good movie for not even being known.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if you're at all interested and care about our opinions, you should definitely check it out before listening to this, because as we go through it and talk about it, we're gonna give away everything, and it's just not gonna be the same feel
Yeah.
watching it the first time through, and me watching it for the first time, because when we talked about, hey Ace, what movie do you want to talk about, and you were like, oh, The Game, and I'm like, what's The Game? I immediately thought like the rapper Triple H.
Yeah.
Jigsaw, are you trying to play a game? What do you mean?
um,
But yeah, go ahead.
that's usually the first response when people like, okay, hey, like you have a movie that you recommend. I'm like, okay, I have a movie for you. It's called The Game, and they always
Hmm.
ask, what is it about? I do
Hmm.
not want to tell you. It's just a good movie. Um,
Yeah, it,
I do
it
know we're gonna
definitely
get into
is.
spoilers, so
Hmm.
yeah, like what John said, if you have not seen the movie, pause it right here. Remember where you left off. Watch the movie. Come back, and then we'll have this discussion again.
Exactly. All right, so bye everyone. We'll see you in 3, 2. Okay, welcome back. All right,
Hey
Ace.
guys, thanks for having me back again, John.
We got to get into this one, Ace, because there's a lot to talk about. It's a trip for sure. It's by the same guy, David Fincher. He's the one who did Seven,
Mhm.
another amazing movie that I absolutely love. And there's a lot of just what is going on. That's what I just kept
Definitely.
asking. Like, who can you trust? What's real? What's not going on? And
Yeah,
Michael Douglas kills it
yeah.
as the lead.
Um, right off the bat, like when I was watching it, I did not know what I was getting into, and then coming to find out, it is once again, it's going to be a spoiler. It is like almost my first introduction to an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's just so many twists and turns,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the ending was like, "Whoa, are you serious?"
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like the movie, it's a fast-paced movie. It does not slow down at all. Right when the movie
Mm-mm.
starts, get ready to ride because you're going to go on for a ride.
Oh, they're gonna play a game, and it's
Yeah,
not an RPG.
no,
So you're right. I think there's a little bit of character building in the beginning. We come
yeah,
to see this main character. He had a traumatic event.
cool.
We learned early on that his father committed suicide,
Yeah.
and he is divorced, and he's super wealthy. He's an investment banker, real boss like. Oh, meeting this, schedule that, blah blah blah. I'm going to this fancy restaurant, etc. And a true boss. Michael Douglas portrays that very well.
Just
And
picture Uncle Scrooge if he was an actual character, a real life person. He is just a very wealthy person. He's about the money, business, almost an introvert, kind of not carefree, but careless. He's about himself. He doesn't let
Mm-hmm.
anybody get close to him.
Mm-hmm.
He, like you said,
Robotic and methodical,
yes, yes.
for sure. Who's
Like you
Uncle
said,
Scrooge?
Uncle Scrooge is the uncle of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Or yeah,
Oh, the ducks. Oh, you're talking like Donald Duck and all that, all those.
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I was thinking of Mr. Scrooge from what is
A
that?
Christmas
A
Carol
Christmas?
or a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, a Christmas Carol. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're right. That's the same guy.
Don't worry, don't worry. You'll catch up, John. Like the movie, you'll catch up. But yeah, like he
Mhm,
definitely is a person who is about business, and he does not let anybody get close to him. And like you
mhm.
said, the opening, not sequence, but the first portion of the movie, you do find out that his dad does commit suicide. Um, his dad was also a wealthy person,
Mhm.
and that's how Michael
It plays
Douglas.
a role, right?
Correct,
Because at times he's compared to his father.
correct. And well, I mean, he does have a birthday, which is
Yeah.
his 48th birthday, which is the same age his dad committed suicide. And so I think that kind of played a part in his head as far as like, hey, do you ever remember my dad? How was he like? So he was interested as far as like finding out about his dad, because is he going down the same road as his
Hmm.
dad,
Hmm.
as he's approaching the same age?
And I think that's why he kind of goes through with this plan. So a little bit of backstory, as Ace said, it's his name's Nicholas. We can call him Nick for short for this whole time.
Nicholas
So
Van Orden.
Van Orden. So Michael Douglas's character Nick, it's around the time of his birthday, and he gets a call, or yeah, he gets a call message from Mr. Seymour Butts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as the audience kind of seeing him as this boss character, you're thinking, wow, that's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows who that is, and he takes the lunch. It's with his brother, Conrad,
Conrad.
played by Sean Penn, Ace's
Correct.
favorite
Yeah.
actor. No, I'm kidding. Can't Buy Me Love grew up. Just kidding. But it's by his brother Conrad. So he goes, okay, cool. Let me go have lunch with them, see what's up. And Conrad's a completely different person this time
Yeah.
around when Nick is talking to him at the lunch. Do you want to
So
talk about that?
Conrad is a little bit more opposite. He's carefree. He's about life. He's about having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
His brother Nicholas, Michael Douglas, does ask him, are you on drugs? What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? He was like, dude, I am living my life. I'm having a good time. But enough about me. It is about you. Happy birthday, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he is just a different person. Complete opposite of what Michael Douglas, Nicholas Van Orden is.
And Nick is wondering, how did this happen? Why did this happen?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What changed? And Conrad tells him about this service, this event, activity, if you will, that he underwent.
Mm-hmm.
And he hands him a card, and the card, it's called CRS.
Correct. Consumer Recreation Services.
It's a little,
Seems sus.
yeah, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
It's
like
vague. But Conrad tells him, call this number.
yeah.
It's your birthday. Do this for him. Call this number. You won't regret it. And
And
that's
Nicholas did ask him, like, well, what is this? And then
yeah,
Conrad does go, well, what do you give the man that has everything?
right.
And he was like, well, what is it? He was like, it's an experience. Please just call them.
Yeah, experience for sure. And this is kind of where the first mystery begins, and we kind of learn early on how Nick is. He is not that he's controlling, but he likes to have all the details. He wants to know things because that's just who he is.
Yeah.
He can be a bit of a micromanager. I mean, he has to be he's very robotic and structured in his whole life. So
he is successful for a reason. So
for sure. Kind of that old school success of just, numbers, flow, blah, 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 blah. This is how you succeed. And he's a wealthy man. So
right.
It makes sense. So he has a ton of questions that Conrad, of course, gives him no kind of direct replies. And he's like, just call this. So Nick's like, I don't think I'm going to do it. But he goes to his country club and other guys are talking about it already.
Correct.
How amazing it is or
yeah.
was for them. And they were like, wow, you haven't gone? This is going to be your first time? oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I wish I can do it all over again.
Yeah.
So Nick, of course, is even more intrigued.
Yeah.
What is CRS?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like you said, he was questioning about it. You know, coming from his brother, he was hesitant of even doing it.
Yeah.
He was at his country club. He overheard people talking about it. He asked them, "What is it about?" They're like, "Whoa, so you haven't started your quote unquote game yet?" And
Yeah.
Nicholas was like, "No, I am thinking about it. Is it something I should do?" They're like, "Oh, it's something you should do. I'm actually jealous that you're starting yours and I've finished mine." And
Yeah.
so I think with that validation from somebody from that country club, he was like, "You know what?
Right.
Cool. I'll think about it."
Mm-hmm.
And where he actually goes to it, the CRS company
Mm-hmm.
mysteriously shows up in the same building that he works in.
How convenient, right? Yeah. So as he goes in for his kind of walk-in appointment, if you will, it seems odd to me. So he goes in, he tries to talk to the receptionist, she just casts him aside,
Mhm.
and he works with the VP of IT and all this other stuff. And I mean, it seems sus. They have to. It's gonna be like a personality test, a physical exam, a psych evaluation, all
Yeah.
these kind of things. And Nick's like, okay, cool. How long is this gonna take? The guy says 2 hours. It seems like he's there for a day and a half.
Yeah, it seemed like he missed a couple of lunches while he was over there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and it's also funny because in this scene, I did notice this is the first time people are telling him what to do rather than him being in control.
Yeah.
Like you said, the receptionist just kind of like, hushed him while she was on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he wanted to leave, but they told him you have to finish your evaluation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they were doing questionnaires, videos, psych
Mm-hmm.
tests,
Mm-hmm.
physical. So he
Mm-hmm.
was probably in there half a day, in my opinion.
And it's all it all plays a role, right, as he's gonna
Yeah,
go through this game. So they even tell him you can stop the game at any time. There's really no kind of liabilities. You're not even paying for this. Your brother's paying for this, so everything's gonna be taken care of.
yeah,
You still have time to decide if you even want to play the game. And I thought that was interesting. That
yeah,
still has time to decide. He can cancel anytime. It sounds like a cult. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding. How do I sign up for this wireless plan?
yeah.
Yeah, cancel anytime. We'll give you a new iPhone. No, 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 no. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So he seems very at ease
Mm.
that all this process is going down. Like, okay, cool. There's no risk, no reward. Like, I'm good. But no, Ace. As
No.
soon as he's done. Oh, this was actually a funny moment too, because as soon as he's done and he has to sign off, like, okay, cool, I've done all these evaluations. The guy goes, yeah, so sign it in blood.
You're like, wait, what?
Wait, what? And he's like, no, I'm joking. There's a lot of like little one-liners like that that kind
Yeah.
of caught me off guard, and it was pretty funny.
And it was funny too because, like you said, when he did, show up there, he did ask once again, "What is this about? What is this quote unquote game?"
Mm-hmm.
And the salesman, his pitch was like, "Look, whatever your life is lacking, this will bring it to you."
Yeah.
And Nick was like, "Well, my life is really not lacking anything. I have everything I need." But sure, so he still goes through with the evaluation. I think I kind of want to hear where your thought process is, but to me, so after he does his evaluation, they call him and they tell him, "Sorry, your application is denied."
That's a really important moment, I think, for two to three reasons. Mainly because, one, he's going to automatically, the way his type A personality structured on the best, blah, blah, blah. Off the bat just going to be like, why is my application not selected? I'm the shit. I'm a boss.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm not good enough for your
Me
game?
denying me.
Yeah, exactly. You never had your car. So that was the first thing that he's immediately going to be like, what do you mean my application was denied? Like, I should be involved in this. But I also think that was a false sense of security because, again, remember during the whole application process, every game is going to fit to the person's.
It's
to the main
tailored to every particular individual.
Thank you. It's tailor made for that person. So how do you get this control freak to drop his guard? The application's not accepted. Okay, cool. I'm pissed. It should have been accepted. And well, fuck it. I'm not accepted. I have nothing to worry about.
Correct.
So I think that that was the reason why. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, that's also where he kind of puts his guard down. Like, okay, well, this game that I applied for, that's quote unquote paid for, they denied me.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. He even calls his brother and like, look, man, I don't have time for this game, so I'm just gonna pass up on it, right?
Yeah.
So he puts his sense of security kind of like, at ease, like, okay, well, then I'm not gonna play this game. To me, where the game starts is when the movie actually starts for me, is when he drives up to the driveway
Mm-hmm.
and he finds basically a person lying in the middle of the driveway the same way his dad committed suicide. So it was kind of like a mind fuck, like, whoa, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. It was creepy because we saw the flashbacks and now that was there, and I immediately thought, is that a dead body? But it wasn't. It was a dummy with a really creepy clown face.
Yeah, it was so off the bat, right when I saw it, I was like, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? So he kind of drags the clown into his room, and he goes about his business. He's watching his Wall Street channel, and then all of a sudden, the TV starts talking to him.
Reality gets distorted for sure, and that's what freaked me out too. Because I'm watching it and I go, "Wait, they just said Nick. Wait, talking to him directly." And then he has a legit conversation with the TV, with the broadcaster on the monitor.
Right. Basically, the broadcaster is telling him, Nicholas Van Orton, your game has begun. Don't call. He's just like, don't call us. We'll call you. The game has begun. And then the funny thing is, this is where his Nick's maid kind of come in, and she kind of hears him talking to somebody. Goes, everything okay? And then TV kind of goes back to the Wall Street lingo, and then Nicholas is like, no, everything's cool. And then when she walks away, he kind of, so who was that? And then Nick's like, no, don't worry about that. What's going on?
Almost supernatural, right? As if they're, how can someone that's on this broadcast be talking to him directly?
Well, how can a TV talk to you?
Yeah. And the TV, whoever's controlling it, shows him, yo, we're watching you. You're being recorded. There's eyes on you at the moment. And it's in the dummy's eyes. That's, as Nick's running around the room, where did you bug me? How did you bug me?
Correct. He brought it in.
He brought it in. So that's already, I guess, a cool way to mess with Nick.
Yeah.
Someone he wasn't going to throw the dummy away. He just wasn't. He's not. Yeah. He has too many questions. He needs to know too much about it. So he's like, okay, cool, whatever. This is happening. I'm just gonna go about my day. So we go into the next day, and he has
Wait, first off, with the clown comes what? The first key.
Oh, that's right. Keys open doors.
Yes. Keys does open doors.
That's right. And I forgot, the broadcaster did mention to him that you're going to need keys. You don't know when you're going to need them, but you're going to need them. So always keep them handy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that. Good. Yeah. Good thing, Ace. So yeah, so he's like, okay.
Not just a hat rack. This is not just a hat rack.
Oh, geez. All right. You're dumb. So being a boss that he is and doing everything he's doing, he knows that there's something important that he has to do, and he has to basically let go of one of the longtime partners that the bank was involved with. So his name's Anson, if I'm not mistaken. And this is where we kind of get that father duality, because as he's basically letting him go, saying, you got to pack your stuff up. I'm firing you. Anson's just telling him, your dad would have been disappointed, this and that, this and that. And Nick is just robotic. He's so empathetic to others at this point in the movie, and he's just saying, Yeah, well, we gave you a hella great severance package. Like, you know, this
Yeah, I
this is
mean,
this is how it's
I'm
gonna
helping
be.
you out, if anything, with the severance package, because if anything, you're making me lose money.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna cut ties with you, sign the severance package, and we can go about our business.
there's just
But
one problem.
yeah, so the severance package papers is in his briefcase,
Yeah,
but the briefcase is locked.
but wait, he has a CRS key.
Correct. So he attempts to do the CRS key, but it fails.
Of
It doesn't
course,
open the briefcase.
of course. One of the, I think, I don't know what it is yet, and this the whole movie has such a great score. I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
As you're watching it, you don't know why he can't open it. Oh, should he not be firing him? What the hell's going on, Ace?
Yeah, because you're like thinking, well, I thought the game was going, and your first instinct when you're seeing that happen, you're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
didn't you get a key to open that? And he tries it, and I like after it does not work, I was like, wait, what? What's? I thought, well, never mind, because
Yeah.
it seems like the briefcase wasn't opening on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and then he needed a key. He has this weird special key, but yet the key doesn't work. So I'm like, okay, wait, so is this part of the game or not?
Mm-hmm. 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 We don't know yet.
Yeah.
So Nick, being the guy he is, he needs some answers. And so he needs to get back in contact with Conrad. So that's his next step. Why is it this opening? What the hell is going on? I got to speak with Conrad. So he tries to get him to go back to the same restaurant when they had the lunch. I guess it was the day before, a couple days before. And so he's there, he's waiting. And the same server that helped him when they were back the other day is helping him out again. And she's kind of a klutz. We didn't mention that when they were first in the first time around. She spilled iced tea, and this time she drops a whole tray full of drinks on Nick, just
Yeah.
drenches him. And he's pissed. She's apologizing, and he's just like, this is unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. It's, again, going back to who he is. He's just empathetic. He's like, okay, cool. Well, do your job better.
Correct. And this lady's name, we'll soon
Christine.
find out, Christine.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she spills drinks on him. She's trying to apologize. Nick's not trying to hear it. So she kind of turns around and calls him an asshole. And
Yeah.
then the maitre d' kind of calls her out. Was like, dude, Nick is a very prestigious client, or he comes here all the time. Don't dare talk to him like that. Clean out your locker. So basically, Nick gets her fired.
Yep. He gets her fired, and she was like a light switch because she was so apologetic. She seemed so sweet, but really that's her job. But now that she's done, she's like, well, fuck this guy, I'm out.
Yeah.
And Nick sits at a new table because, of course, the table he was at was completely drenched. And he gets a note from another server.
Yeah.
And it says, don't let her get away.
Yes.
Again, such a coded message. It has to be part of the game. So he goes and tracks her down and chases her. And as he does follow her, a random guy in the street just collapses.
Correct.
And they're like, oh my gosh, we got to help him. So she's trying to resuscitate him, give him CPR. He's trying to use a cell phone to call the police. It's not working. So he flags down a cop. They got to help this guy, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, his cell phone conveniently has no signal.
Well,
so
I think it's an old cell phone, Ace.
It is a flip phone. It wasn't even a razor, but we won't talk about it. So yeah, they flagged down the cops. The cops called the ambulance. Since they were with this person, they needed to bring both him and her to the hospital to get some more information. So, as they're headed towards the hospital, they get to the hospital, they exit the ambulance, then all of a sudden, lights out.
Everything goes black. Everyone disappears. There was a huge group of people all over the place. Everything goes black, but a creepy elevator all the way over there just opens up. Just out of nowhere, everything's dark, right? But then that opens up. It's just spooky. But
Christine was even asking, what's going on? And Nick is starting to kind of like, he's kind of had it. He was like, dude, I joined this consumer recreation service. They said I'm not part of this game. I think it's part of the game. These people running away, I think they're part of the game. It's just, bullshit. He's starting to get pissed off. So they enter the elevator, but the elevator doesn't work.
It does not. And I think this was another important moment for Nick's character building, because she's walking to the elevator. She's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, how do you know that's the right way? And she goes, I don't.
Yeah.
Again, going back to his control, him being a control freak, him needing to know all the answers, needing to know all the details. And she's just like, nah, I'm just getting out. So you're right. They can't use the elevator. It doesn't seem to be working. But he has a key. And keys open doors. So he uses that CRS key, which works on the elevator, so they're able to move. They just don't move very far.
Yeah, because the elevator stops.
Of course.
And once again, Nick thinks it's part of the game, and they're just quote unquote, fucking with him. So they escape the elevator, but Nick forgets his briefcase in the elevator.
Yeah.
As they're walking out of the building, Nick notices, wait, it says CRS right there. This is the same company that I applied for. They trip off an alarm, and they're like, well, let's just wait for security to come, and then we'll just explain what happens. And she's like, nope, you can explain for the both of us. And she books it.
She books it, and he follows her. Yeah, he follows right after her, because he's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to stay here and talk. Yeah. And then they're being chased by dogs and by dudes with guns. So they're like, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? And they're able to get away and fall right into some dumpsters, which another funny line happens, because as, the back of the house guys are kind of chilling out in the back, and these two people fall. He goes, oh, yeah, a table for two?
Two. I guess that was their small comedic relief. After that, they go to, I guess,
one of his other offices.
Yeah, one of his other offices. And that's where they
But stuff's getting weird, Ace. Stuff's getting weird. Like, what's happening? Yeah,
exactly. So what are these people chasing them? So you're thinking, like, what? So is the game supposed to hurt him? Or are they trying to kill him? So all these different thought processes are starting to happen now. They get to Nick's new office. They do a change of clothes. And
this is where he finds out. She tells him, I was just given $400 to spill those drinks on you.
Correct.
Some guy offered me 300. I said 4, and then they said, okay, cool. He's over there. Guy. So basically, she's indirectly part of the game. She's a pawn by the people who are orchestrating Nick's madness right now. So he's like, man, this stuff's getting weird. All right, whatever. That's fine. He puts her in a taxi, takes her home. And again, we don't know what's going on. And we move on to the next day. And the next day, a lot of stuff happens.
So the next day, he wakes up to a phone call from a hotel saying that
the Nico Hotel.
Yeah, the Nico Hotel. They found his card, and for him to come pick it up.
So he goes to pick it up, right? And they're like, "Okay, cool, yeah, Nick, okay. Your flowers are ready. Blah blah blah. The young woman's upstairs," and he's like,
"Young woman, okay."
Yeah, what's going on? What room? So he goes up to the room, and again, yes.
Oh, wait, we got one. So when he was walking up to the reception desk, some guy bumps into him.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, my bad. So Nick is asking, aren't you guys supposed to give me a key? And then the guy was like, we already gave you a key last night. He was like, you did? Then he checks his pockets. Then all of a sudden, he has a key card.
Yeah, I forgot it. I did remember the guy bumping into him, but I forgot about that. Yeah, he conveniently has the right item. Like if you're playing, Zelda or a different RPG, you have to go like in order to get to the next room, you need this or that. In Pokemon, you need the Silph Scope so you can go and decode the ghost. So in
order to move forward within the game.
Exactly, and he conveniently has them in his pocket. So once he gets to that room, it looks like a stereotypical, okay, cool, these are what rock stars do when they're on tour, right? There's hella drugs everywhere. There's some porn on in the background. There's a bunch of weird pictures of
Polaroid pictures of like naked people. Because you
every
don't
check
really
is
show their face.
right, and every check is signed by him. There's
Correct.
like a $4,000 check, and it's signed by him. His exact signature is kind of crazy. He's freaking out because housekeeping's knocking on that door, like, hey, housekeeping. He's like, oh shit, and it's all in his briefcase, right? All those Polaroids and everything that's going down. So he's freaking out. He cuts his finger. He doesn't know what to do, and he just needs to get out of there.
And what's funny here too, so I do remember when I was rewatching this movie, when he was trying to get rid of the cocaine, he got rid of it at the sink. Usually people will get rid of cocaine where? The toilet, right? They'll usually dump it in the toilet and then flush the toilet. I mean, I've heard that. Not that I've done it before.
I don't know, Ace. Is that
we can end that right here then?
Is that the proper protocol?
Well, when I watch movies, when people try to get rid of drugs, they usually dump it in the toilet and then flush it down the toilet.
Right. Oh, so what you're basically saying is he has no experience with this kind of matter.
That, or he didn't do that because he used the sink to dump everything in the sink. The only reason why he went to the toilet was because he cut himself. And when he was trying to throw away the soiled, tissue paper, he just noticed that the toilet started to overflow.
Right.
Meaning, if he tried to throw the drugs away, it would have never went down the toilet because it would have overflowed.
So the evidence still would have stayed.
Yeah. So when I watched it, I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's true. Now that you mention it, that is true. You would think like, okay, flush it down the toilet, right?
Right.
But yeah. So, oh man, I didn't even notice that. That's
not just a hat rack.
Oh my
not
God.
Just a hat rack.
Oh, geez. So he gets out of there and he's again, what the hell is going on? So
panicking.
He's panicking, but he thinks he knows what's happening. Bear, the guy that he Anson, right? Bear Anson, he's thinking that he's setting him up. He didn't like the severance package. He's mad about it. He needs to go talk to him.
Yeah.
So he tells his lawyer, meet me here. We got to set this up. And as he's going on his way there, he notices he's being followed. And Nick is a clever guy. He's no dummy. So he stops. The PI's looking for him, and Nick tricks him and takes his gun away. Cleverly takes his gun away.
So he takes his gun away, and he goes, "What are you doing?" He was like, "I'm just looking for somebody." And then he notices that there's a picture of Nick on his passenger seat. He was like, "What are you? Are you supposed to be following me?" And then he takes his gun. He was like, "Is this part of the game?" And he's like waving it around. Does the game use real bullets? And he shoots, and it blows out his tire. He's like, "Oh shit, that's a real bullet."
So it's one of those things like, what the hell is going on? Like, he still thinks that Anson's behind this. So when he meets with his lawyer and talks to Anson, he's like, yo, what the hell is going on? Blah, blah, blah. Anson's like, what? And Nick's just attacking him. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. I met with your lawyer earlier today. I signed the severance. I'm good. Like you said, I'm retiring. I'm gonna go sailing or whatever you're doing. So Nick wants out of the game now. He's like, what is happening? I'm over this. I'm over it. And as you're watching too, you're like, what is going on?
Yeah. And then his lawyer, whose name is Sutherland, asks Nick, should I be worried because you're acting kind of erratic? Yeah. And Nick's like, oh, I don't know, man. I signed up for this quote unquote game my brother told me to do. They keep messing with me with pranks and all these different things. And then Sutherland's like, well, okay, do you want me to get law enforcement involved? He's like, no, just look at this, waiver form. But when he looks at the waiver form,
blank.
Is blank. They basically used invisible ink when he was signing his name.
Yep.
So Sutherland's like, what is this? He was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. They just keep fucking with me, man. Like, goes, but it's okay. Don't worry. I'll figure it out. At that same time, he gets like a small little he sees a small little envelope in that briefcase, which is his technically third key, which is like a little small lever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's very important later. So he stashes that in his pocket. He gets home, and it seems like someone has broken into his home.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he's
this is my only qualm with this one. So I do remember when he does have a maid, and that
Mhm.
maid kind of lives outside of the house. There's like an outhouse for her
right, but on the
uh,
premises.
on the premises, and they basically tagged up his whole house, um, ransacked it. They didn't really steal anything. They just kind of damaged it.
Right.
My only question here is, if there was a person living outside, I'm pretty sure they heard all that happening. But she was confused, like, "What? Someone broke in? I didn't hear anything." So,
Yeah, be careful
yeah,
what's going on.
Nick was like, "Yo, just be careful. Someone broke in." And as he was calling the
The
cops,
police. Mm-hmm. Conrad
Conrad
shows up.
shows up frantic. He was
Yeah.
hysterical. He was like, "Meet me outside, meet me outside." And he was just very, like, he just saw a ghost. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
can take it from here.
Well, yeah, like you said, he is basically saying that CRS is out to get him.
Yeah.
He fucked up. They're still after him. He paid them their money. He's doing his thing, but they just won't leave him alone. And this is kind of an important scene between the two brothers
Yeah.
because it starts from just CRS is fucking with me. It turns into, you know, Nick, you didn't have to be dad to me. Like you're my brother, but you're a control freak and all this stuff. And Nick's just saying, what do you mean? I had no other choice. We couldn't rely on you, this and that. So it's just a lot of anger back and forth.
Yeah.
And Conrad's just trying his best to get the hell out of there. He's so worried about everything that's going down. So he just runs away from Nick. And Nick's like, man, again, what's going on? He hears a distant phone ringing, and he picks it up. And he basically, they recorded his conversation with Conrad just then and there, and they're replaying it back to him. So again, there's like, what's happening, Ace? They're always around them. They're like big brother.
Yeah. So to add on to that, so they were in the car. Conrad is freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was explaining to Nick, like, "Yo, it's a good thing you didn't sign up for CRS because they keep messing with me. I paid them the money. I paid them more money so they can stop messing with me. And they just keep messing with me even more. I don't know what to do." And that's when their car gets a flat tire and they got to pull over to the side of the road. And then Conrad's like, "See, this is CRS. CRS is doing this." And then Nick was like, "Dude, it's a flat tire. Chill out."
Yeah.
So Conrad is like freaking out, and he was trying to help, and he kind of pulls open the glove compartment. And what does he find in there? Just hundreds and hundreds of CRS keys. And this triggers Conrad. Nick's
in it.
Yeah, Nick's a part of the whole thing against Conrad, so it freaks him out, and so he runs away from Nick. And Nick's like, "Dude, you're the one that brought them to me. Like, what are you talking about?"
Right.
So, like you said, they recorded their argument, replayed it for him, and basically, this is not the last of Conrad, but Conrad runs away.
Right. And so Nick's like, "Fuck it. I'm gonna get a taxi. I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'll figure this out later." And as he jumps into the taxi misses the turn. He's like, "Yo, you missed the turn." He sees the ID, CRS taxi. The guy's not listening. Nick's like, "Yo, man, I'm wealthy. Just take me home. I'll pay you double what they're paying. I'm gonna pay you double what they're paying you." Guy's just laughing it off. Ha ha ha. He just keeps speeding up and speeding up.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, what's gonna happen? Crazy few events next. The taxi driver jumps out of the speeding taxi, and Nick plummets into the San Francisco Bay because they're in San Francisco. What seems like to his death.
Yeah.
Because locked in. Yeah.
And Nick was trying to like talk himself down. He was like, "Okay, well, this has to be part of the game."
Yep.
Think. And he notices as he was starting to sink with the taxi that there's this little lever He's
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, if it's a
Mm-hmm.
lever, I have a lever. So he pulls out the lever
Mm-hmm.
and he cranks open the window to escape from his quote unquote death.
Yeah. Yeah. He pulls himself out of that, thinking on his head, like you said, it is a game. There has to be a way out. So he gets out, flash forward to, or we're going to spring forward to the next day. He's with his lawyer. He's with some detectives. They're investigating everything now.
Yeah.
Shit's hitting the fan. He's freaking out. They attempted to kill him.
Yeah.
And they go to the old CRS building. But wait, Ace, what do they find when they get there?
So the floor now is totally empty.
And
It's basically one of those, like, imagine a floor that needs to be rebuilt. There's
right.
nothing there. There's no walls, no chairs, no nothing.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what to do. He's talking to his lawyer. He's talking to detectives. Look into this. And the detectives are being completely honest. They're saying, well, if you hired them, what's their motive to do all this? It's a really interesting question because that's going to be their defense, right? Oh, he signed up for this game.
Yeah.
He knew what he signed up for. Nick's going to say, what? You guys didn't tell me what was going to happen. It's such a almost iron defense, if you will.
And then after this point, Nick's kind of doing his own investigating. He's trying to figure out where Christine went. Where did the taxi take Christine home? Because since she was approached by them, maybe she can talk to them as far as, hey, call it quits. I don't want to be a part of the game anymore.
Right.
So he goes to Christine's house, and then he meets up with her.
Right. And before we go on, I just want to mention that Nick is a go-getter.
Yeah.
He's not helpless. He's definitely not helpless.
Yeah.
When he wants to get something done,
you'll get it done.
And then for getting it done. Yeah, because if you have like a boss-like character, sometimes they're just a figurehead, if you will. But no, Nick, he takes care of his shit, which I have to commend. The whole time as Michael Douglas is playing the character, he's not just gonna sit around and wait for them to come to him. He's gonna go get them.
Correct.
And that was cool. Sorry, I cut you off. So yeah, he goes to Christine's house.
So they get to Christine's house, and then Christine's like, well, let me get dressed. And then Nick's like, okay. So Nick's kind of looking around the house, which I thought was kind of funny because when I'm at somebody's new house, I just kind of sit on my hands and make sure I don't touch anything because I don't want to get in trouble. Right. But Nick's walking around and he notices that a lamp is starting to catch on fire a little bit, and he notices that there's a price tag still attached to it.
The fridge is empty.
Correct. The water's not running.
Empty. The water's not running. He tries to pull a book out of the bookshelf, and it's half a book.
It's just
there
a display.
for show. Yeah.
Right.
He looks at a picture of her as a kid, or he assumes it's her as a kid.
Yeah.
So he looks at the back. It's a newspaper clipping.
Correct. So
hey,
basically,
what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. So basically, we're like, wait. So what's happening right now? And then Christine comes out, and then Nick's like, so what's this picture? And she's like, oh yeah, I remember that was my communion. And he's like, okay, show it to me. And she's like, what do you mean? He was like, take it out of the back and show it to me. And she's walking closer to him, and that's when she whispers, they're watching us.
And they were, because as soon as she says the smoke detector, he goes and basically destroys the microphone that's in there. And then you see outside a bunch of guys in white creepy vans are just mobilized, and they're going after, and they have guns. They're not just So it's kind of like, oh fuck, here we go again. So they're being chased. They have to get away. They're getting shot at this time, and they get away. Luckily, they're able to get away and escape, and they're driving now. And this is where Christine spills the beans to Nick. She goes, "Yeah, man, they got you. Yeah. They have everything. Yeah, you're fucked."
Yeah. So she's basically telling him, "Look, man, you're just any other pawn that they could have picked out of the street. They've cleaned you out already. They've taken what they want. So sorry. Basically, there's nothing we can do now because you lost already. So
Yeah.
with that being said, Nick calls his bank
Accounts.
account overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and he calls them, and then they ask for his passcode. He gives the passcode, and then that's when he finds out they've wiped him out completely.
Yeah. And he's like, well, this can't be happening. So they go to his lodge, because of course he has a lodge.
Yeah.
It's super, super nice. And they're being, kind of coupley, if you will.
Yeah.
Christine's like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'll make coffee, this and that. Nick calls up his lawyer, freaking out again. Yo, my money's all gone. Blah, 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 this and that. Sutherland, I need your help. My son's like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. So Nick and Christine are just chatting it up. He's trying to figure out, her story, this and that. And he gets a call back from Sutherland about an hour later. He's like, yeah, I got your message. Oh, so I'm sorry. Nick left a voicemail to Sutherland.
Yeah.
And then he calls him back and he goes, hey, I just got your message. I was on the phone for an hour with all these people. Your money is all there. It's all accounted for.
Yeah.
And this is where Christine's like, oh my God, Sutherland is in on it.
Yeah.
So, Ace, what the fuck is going on? How deep does CRS run, Ace?
And it's crazy too, because Sutherland's like, well, everything's accounted for. Where are you exactly? I need to know where you at exactly so I can help you.
Precise location.
This is where Christine's like, hang up the phone because he's a part of the game now. They've gotten to him.
And as Nick hangs up the phone, it seems that he's been drugged because his vision's getting fuzzy and he tumbles over. Christine's voice is slowly fading away. Yeah, fading away. And he wakes up in Mexico.
Yeah, well, before that, she kind of leans over and tells him, thank you for giving me the passcode because we intercepted your call. Yeah. We got your passcode. We've got everything we needed from you now. Thank you very much. And from there on, he passes out. Then he wakes up in what looks like to be a coffin.
Yeah. And
then he's in Mexico.
Yeah.
He's in Mexico in an all-white suit.
Oh, geez. But yeah, like I was trying to say, at least he still has his kidneys because you know that urban legend, you wake up in a bathtub with no kidneys. But yeah he's in Mexico. Nothing on him. No money, no wallet, no passport. So he's kind of what seems to be screwed, but Nick, being the guy he is, he's a go-getter. So he tries to get back to the American embassy. He's talking to a guy and he's giving him a story. I was robbed, blah, 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 this and that. I need to get back to the States. And the embassy guy's like, oh, you're robbed. Okay, cool. It's a really nice watch you got on there, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny how you got robbed and they forgot to rob you for your watch.
Yeah, which is a fancy watch. And he sees it was engraved. I forgot what exactly it said, but I think it was a message from his father.
It was actually a gift from his mother.
That's what it was. Thanks.
It was a gift from his mother, as far as saying about time, and his father as a gift from his mom.
That's what it was. Yeah. So he gets some cash, right? He kind of scavengers around, gets some cash, and he needs to get back to the States. So he gets into first he has to cross the border, and once he does that, he goes into his cafe and he's like, "Who's going to San Francisco? I have
$18.
$18.71. I was gonna say $17.80, but yeah, thank you. He has that amount, and he gets back to San Francisco. He does what he has to do.
And it was weird too because this is the first time he ever had to ask for help, and you can see some sort of even humility from him. He's like, "Hey guys, I have $18.
Yeah.
If anyone's headed to San Francisco, I would love a ride. I have $18. This is yours. I just need to get back to San Francisco."
He does it in a cute way too. He literally walks in and goes, "Attention, everyone."
Yeah. May I have your attention, please?
Yeah. But you're right. Very, very much grounded at that point, right? He lays all his cards on the table.
Yeah. He gets back to San Francisco, and he does what any person would do: take a shower.
Oh yeah.
Takes a shower. And then he just kind of scrambles around the house and little nooks and crannies where he stashed a couple of dollars here and there. And he also picks up a book, which, spoiler alert, contains a gun.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird. So he carries that book with him, and then he goes and sees his ex-wife,
Elizabeth. And she's a great character. We'd never really found out why they got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And she seemed very sweet to him during this whole conversation. He goes, I need your car, I need your help, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, of course, you know, no hesitation from her side. And I mean, obviously you can kind of tell just as a character in the beginning why they probably got divorced, because Nick is he seems to be more in love with his career and success than to allow to allow himself to be vulnerable with someone else. And
a little bit backstory too, in the very beginning, where we find out, you know, it's Nick's birthday at 11:40. Elizabeth calls him and he goes, right on time. And she goes, happy birthday, Nicholas. And he goes, thank you.
Yeah.
And he almost like just kind of brushes her off. Okay, thank you. How's your kids? Cool. Thank you. Bye. And now we fast forward now, and now he's asking for help. And
she looked like shit at this point too.
And she's asking, is everything okay? And this is where he kind of breaks down. He goes, look, you're the only person that I can trust. I know how I've been, and I am sorry if I was ever bad to you. And she's like, no, you've always been good, you know. And she's just a really, really sweet and caring person. She gives up her car for him to do whatever he needs to do. Mm-hmm. And then he notices while they're at the cafe that the person that was the salesperson who originally took him in at CRS was an actor on TV. So he's watching TV.
He's in a commercial. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, how did you guys find me? How? And then he wait, he's an actor. This is his job. So he goes and does more investigation to find out where he's at.
And a key moment, Nick, just being the detective that he is and being a go-getter, he remembers that guy. Oh gosh, what was his name? I
think it was something Robertson.
Yeah. Jeez, it's gonna kill me. It's fine. We'll just call him the actor. So he remembers that actor was eating Chinese food.
Yes.
From New Moon Cafe in Chinatown. So, again, Nick being Nick, so he goes to Chinatown and he's asking the owner, yo, man, like, there's this guy, and the owner's like, dude, we get thousands of people all the time. We get a hella famous people. Yeah. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, that's just too vague. So he looks on the wall and he's like, you're right. You do get famous people. And boom, he sees a picture of that actor, takes the picture, and he's like, all right, fine. I'm going to go find him. Now I remember. Lionel Fisher. That's the
Lionel Fisher.
Yeah, that's the actor that he's gonna go look after. So being again the investigator he is like, okay, cool. He makes a couple phone calls to Lionel's agency and he's like, yo, I have this perfect role for him. We need to talk to him now. And the agent's just like, well, he's at the zoo with his kids right now. He can't talk. And he's like, okay, cool. Click.
Yeah. Oh, zoo, sure. Zoom.
And he's like, what zoo? The one with the white tigers?
Yeah.
Easy. So he shows up at the zoo with Lionel, and Lionel's scared out of his mind. He's like, oh, crap, man. Like, I'm with my kids. Like, and Nick's like, does it look like I care?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to go and talk to your boss. And he's like, whoa, please, not with my kids. And that's when he kind of flashes him the gun. No, we're going to go talk to your boss right now. So,
Nick is a man on a mission at this point.
Nick basically kidnaps Lionel and forces him to take him to go see, the boss.
Yeah, so shit's really hitting the fan. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who to believe anymore because Sutherland might be compromised. Yeah. Christine's obviously some weird double agent. Conrad's freaking out. So shit's really hitting the fan, and Nick's over it. And the guy, Lionel's like, you're not going to get your money back. And Nick's like, it's not about that. I'm trying to see the wizard. I'm trying to pull back the curtain.
The curtain. Yeah, he wants to pull back the curtain and see who's doing all of this.
Yeah, and so it's crazy to me this whole time because, again, there's so much buildup. We don't know what the hell is going on. And Nick is just on a mission. So when they finally get to CRS and, you know, there's a security, Nick uses Lionel, and they basically like, all right, we're getting up this elevator, security handcuffs him, and the security's like, you're fucked, like this is never gonna work. And Nick's like, all right, cool, well, I'm gonna keep going. And they run into Christine and that taxi driver, Ace.
And actually, yeah, because they pull in, so they see that security guard. Nick, you know, does what any person does. He throws away the security guard's gun away, handcuffs him, and then they find their way to their cafeteria.
Yep.
And in this cafeteria, he sees everybody that's he's ran into that's a part of CRS, which is basically those people from the country club. There's people, the detectives, the Christine's roommate, anyone that you can think of that was part of CRS.
Is like, yeah.
They're in that cafeteria basically on their lunch break, and he walks and he sees Christine with the taxi driver, and then he goes, "Shh, I'm gonna surprise her." So he goes and sneaks up on her, and she sees him, and it's like seeing a ghost. And she's like, "Oh shit, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "You're gonna show me
from
to
the
boss."
dead.
Yeah, so you're gonna show me to the boss. So this is where they get chased again. They make their way up to the roof. And he kind of locks the roof, and he's telling Christine, "Call up your boss now. I want to talk to him."
Exactly. And he pulls out the gun, and she goes, "Wait a minute, that's not an automatic weapon. That's a revolver." And she's like, "We didn't catch that." And he goes, "Yeah, well, I guess you didn't dig enough."
Yeah.
And she's like, no, this is all fake. Like, stop, please stop. This is a party. You know, you're not supposed to have a gun, all this stuff. Like, when that door opens, it's going to be a huge party, huge celebration. Conrad's there, this and that. And Nick's like, okay. Like, how can you believe her, right?
Yeah.
At this point, she's lied to him twice. You know, what the hell? So the doors peel back. And at this point, I'm like, what's going to happen? And you see it. As the audience, you kind of see people with looks to be kind of party-ish vibes, but again,
they have party hats and whatever, and like you said, they peel back the door and pops out Conrad in a white suit with a champagne bottle. And what does Nick do?
Bang bang,
he kills Conrad.
He shoots Conrad, and it's one of those like, what the fuck moments.
Yeah, and then even Lionel was like, "What happened? You know, why did he shoot him with that gun?" And she's like, "Well, he never really took the security guard's gun, which he was supposed to. He brought his own gun."
Yep.
I tried to tell him, and he killed Conrad. And Lionel was basically saying, "We're all going to go to jail now. It's gone too far."
Yep.
And now Nick's broken. He killed his brother. I guess, you know, he's just given up, and he
world's upside down,
and he doesn't know what to do other than
what his dad did, right? When his dad, we heard backstory, we don't know exactly why he committed suicide, but he walked off a building.
Yeah. So
immediately
Nick basically did the same thing. He just jumped off a building too. And so Christine knew what was happening. She kind of turned to Nick, and as she was like saying no, it was too late. Nick jumps.
Nick walks off a building, crashes through some glass. Hold on, Ace.
Yeah, there's more.
He lands.
Movie's not over.
He lands on a landing pad.
Yeah.
Was breakaway glass.
So it was meant for him to break that glass, and he was meant to jump. You're like, wait. So now at this point, I'm like, what's going on?
So it was all a game. It was all a game. They knew Nick was going to try to kill himself. Conrad is not dead. Lionel goes and tells him, "I'm so happy you walked off because I was supposed to throw you off if you didn't."
Yeah. And I mean, once he gained his conscience and once he was okay, that's when you see Conrad running downstairs with another T-shirt in his hand saying, "I was left for dead in Mexico, and all I got was this crappy T-shirt."
Yeah, Exactly. And we'll talk about the symbolism of what that kind of means right now. But Conrad, and I think that this was a dumb line. This is where I was talking about. Like, I didn't like this part where Conrad says, I had to do something. You were becoming such an asshole. And I didn't, I didn't like that. That was the one, that's my one criticism of the movie.
Okay.
Was when Sean Penn was like, yeah, dude, you're an asshole. I had to do something. That's pretty fucking extreme.
Yeah. That's too much if someone's being a jerk.
Yeah, like I'm going to basically get you to try to kill yourself.
Yeah.
So that was my one criticism of the movie. At this point, I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Oh my gosh, it was one huge game.
Yeah.
Crazy. The symbolism for me of basically what happened there was Nick was reborn.
Correct. Okay.
He thought everything was his world that he had built up burned and came crashing down around him. He felt like he had no way out.
Mm-hmm.
He killed his brother. But this symbolized that, he killed his old self and now he's reborn. That's what the symbolism was to me at 48, because that was the same age that his father had died.
Yeah.
But now he gets a new lease on life. He has the rest of his life to,
a new appreciation for life.
Exactly. So that's what it meant to me at this point where, like, why did they have to go to that extreme for him to walk off a building?
Yeah.
Well, in order to build a new world, you kind of have to tear down the old one, right?
Correct.
That's what I got. That's the symbolism I got from what
No, I mean, same concept, just a little different. Yeah, I do believe that in order for him to start appreciating things, his old self had to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I like the way you put it. It was a reborn for him. I think after this whole game, he has a whole new appreciation. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I'm not pretty sure. We hope that he starts, bringing people into his life. He's a little bit more open. At the end of the movie, he does ask, "Where's Christine?" Because I think he's now open to, opening to, open. Oh, he's open to having people in his life now.
Right. Yeah. So overall is a happy ending. This whole build up to basically realize, it was one huge game. It's so crazy.
It was basically my first taste of an M. Night Shyamalan movie where you're just like, whoa, what's happening? That little twist at the end, because I thought the twist was he killed his brother. I was like, whoa, that's a good movie. Damn, he killed his brother.
Yeah.
Nope, he commits suicide only to be alive with his brother because it was just all a game.
Well, you dropping bars. He committed suicide to be alive.
Oh, I mean, we're talking about the game. This is part of the documentary, right? I think I have that in my notes. Hold on. Never mind.
Oh my gosh. What did you keep saying? That's not just a hat rack?
No, it's not just a hat rack, baby. Not just a hat rack, baby.
Oh man, but what a movie. Like you said, a bunch of twists and turns. I was uncomfortable the whole time. Michael Douglas absolutely killed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's
crazy.
It was a movie that was very fast paced. It wasn't. It kept you on your toes. I liked it because it was just you're trying to figure it out as Michael Douglas was figuring it out himself. So you're like, what's going on? What's happening in this movie?
Yeah.
It was just very intriguing. Only to come at the end was a twist and another twist and another twist. You're just like, dude, you guys stop playing with me. This ain't a game.
Nah, man, that's what they were doing. They twistceptioned you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, be ready to watch this movie. Please pay attention because at the end, it's gonna blow your mind.
Wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet. Always wear a helmet.
Oh my god. But yeah, goodness. Ace, we didn't do a 80s movie this time around.
Well, I mean, I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I definitely have an 80s movie on deck. But when you asked for me to come back, I was like, you know what? Let me switch it up a little bit. Let me give him a little bit more seasoning on this movie, a little bit more than just a romantic comedy, because we could always come back to that.
Yeah.
So I decided to give you the game. I'm really, really proud of that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't make it, but every time people ask me about a recommendation, I always tell them watch the game. It was either that or the scariest movie ever to me, Glitter.
We're not
And I
watching
didn't
that.
know which one to go with, so I went with the game.
Yeah, we're not watching Glitter.
Oh yeah, it's
No,
a scary
no.
movie. I always watch it during Halloween.
Yeah, we're that's
It's either that or Geely, but that's another
what was the other
day in the
one?
lab. Geely with Ben Affleck and J Lo.
What?
You remember that poster that's in your room, Geely?
What whoa. No, I don't have any nope, that's not my room. Nope.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
well, I mean, hey, to each their own. I didn't judge, but okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh geez. Where can we find you these days, Ace? What you been up?
Um, well, first off, I did notice that you kept looking at my pins real quick, and you're being really unprofessional. So I tried to be really professional and keep my eyes at the camera. But
Oh
in case you
geez.
guys were wondering where to get these pins at, visit thisisstoops.bigcartel.com. Shameless plug, but yet these are new pins right over here. Yeah, yaka, yaka, yaka. Look at those. We're gonna have some new pins coming out. Just having a good time. Another, I guess, 2 months of quarantine. Um,
Yeah.
wear a mask. I
Yeah.
want to have a semi-normal Christmas this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Definitely living that quarantine life. And I appreciate you did send me those pins.
oh,
I appreciate that.
I'm glad it made it to the lab.
Very, very much. Yeah. The pins are in the lab for sure. So thanks for that. This is Stoops. Stoops spelled Stoops. Everyone, this is Stoops. You can also find him on Instagram at This Is Stoops. Nice. So be on the lookout for all that. I'm your host, as always, Theory_Labs on Instagram and Theory Labs on YouTube. Alrighty, everyone. Thanks so much for stopping by. We
I
hope
really
you
appreciate it,
enjoyed.
Johnny.
No problem, Ace. Thanks again. I gotta have you back. Don't be a
Yeah,
stranger.
I'll have an '80s romantic comedy on deck for you.
I don't want anything else, especially not glitter.
I won't be playing with you anymore. No more games.
Oh my gosh. Stay well, everyone. We'll catch you next time.